What did he? What's up? What? What's up?
But still I can't afford to let these niggas.
Stay close. Stay close. God. Open the left. Keep the left forward.
Like a song terrific. I got a couple pairs.
But now, what's that? Right.
Everybody running digs. You hit a motherfucker. Hey, I was just talking.
Right. What did he? What's that? Right.
Why is one of college football's biggest stars stuck at the bottom in Cleveland? Shedeur Sanders ran up a hill in Miami, sending a message to the league. But back with the Browns, he's not even getting first-team reps. Fans are furious. Insiders are warning he could be cut. And rumors of another quarterback draft pick in 2026 have people asking what is really going on with Shedeur Sanders. Every quarterback in Cleveland's camp has a chip on their shoulder. Yet for Shedeur, it's more than just proving his arm. It's about proving himself. Drafted in the 5th round at number 144. 4 months after being projected as a first-rounder, Sanders landed amid a quarterback logjam. 5 signal callers drafted or acquired in one offseason. Now, the media and fans alike question whether he's here to lead or just to be cut. Enter podcaster Bigsnackks, demanding the Browns fire the entire front office if they draft a quarterback in 2026. Why? Because drafting Sanders, Gabriel, and acquiring Pickett on top of Flacco shows no coherent plan. Instead, it's perceived as confusion disguised as strategy. If Sanders is the team's top 2025 quarterback, why waste picks on another one next year?
There is no doubt that Shedeur is the best quarterback that they've drafted. There is no doubt that going into this draft that Shedeur Sanders was the best quarterback, regardless of where he was drafted.
This tension amplifies every training camp rep or lack thereof Sanders gets. With no first-team reps yet, concerns are mounting. Analyst Cris Carter says sticking with Flacco now is a huge problem, while critics warn that unless Sanders emerges in camp, he'll be cut before the Browns ever draft again. Why? Because Cleveland isn't just deciding the starter, they're deciding the franchise's future. And if Sanders isn't the answer, the Browns will use their top picks on a fresh face in 2026. Shedeur Sanders is no ordinary rookie. At Colorado, he threw for over 11,000 career yards, earned the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, and rewrote school record books. In his final year, he completed 74% of passes for 4,134 yards and 37 touchdowns. His legacy is etched. Jersey retired, record-setting season, college football icon.
Can Sanders and the Buffaloes pay it off? Here's Sanders looking. Sanders winding up. He's got him in. Touchdown!
Walking up to Lambeau Field, few expected him to fall past round 1. Yet Sanders slipped to pick 144 in round 5, despite comparisons to Tom Brady and talk of potential $20 million contracts. His slide sparked widespread commentary and even attracted a prank call from someone impersonating an NFL GM. Upon arrival, Sanders joined a quarterback room overflowing with experience and promise. Joe Flacco returned on a 1-year, $13 million deal. Kenny Pickett arrived via trade. Dillon Gabriel came in round 3. Deshaun Watson remains, though injured. Sanders knows his ceiling. Starting may mean emerging from QB4. Bigsnackks doesn't mince words. Spending picks on Sanders, Pickett, Gabriel, and then considering one more in 2026 is a mockery of strategy. He insists the entire front office must be fired if they draft another QB next summer, calling it wasted draft capital and false hope. Skip Bayless chimed in. What a mountain Shedeur Sanders is going to have to climb. Despite early hype and jersey sales, the NFL hierarchy hasn't convinced Cleveland to elevate him yet. Cris Carter agrees. Naming Flacco the starter is a huge problem, as rookies like Sanders deserve on-field reps to validate development. With no first-team snaps to his name, Sanders is watching others take reps he might have earned. Meanwhile, the Toronto Argonauts place Sanders on their negotiation list, giving them first dibs if he returns to Canada, though it's unlikely he'll go that route. The move signals backup options, but also raises eyebrows. Cleveland managing a roster heavily populated with quarterbacks and not giving them all time. Sanders intensified training in Miami with his longtime coach, wearing down on Hills, ignoring critics. Cam Newton endorsed his mindset. You'll always be hated. Stay locked in. But without roster movement, effort alone won't change depth charts. Brian Sleep, the Browns' 1979 MVP, urges giving rookies a fair shot in Cleveland's soon-to-arrive $2.4 billion domed stadium. However, insiders indicate team leaders are already backing Flacco as the Week 1 starter. Joe Flacco remains the main starter with veteran clout. Kenny Pickett brings trade acquisition upside. Dillon Gabriel is a third-round rookie who has been strong in camp. Shedeur Sanders has had no reps yet and sits on edge. Deshaun Watson is filling a season-long mentorship role.
We've got breaking news out of the NFL where the Cleveland Browns are trading for Eagles backup quarterback Kenny Pickett.
Having 4 QBs is rare. Cleveland risks developmental stagnation across the board. With training camp set for July 25th, followed by preseason that starts August 9th, Sanders needs reps, not for hype, but to showcase readiness. Sports Rush analysis reveals Browns are eyeing 2026 quarterback prospects like Arch Manning, Fernando Mendoza, Cade Klubnik. If they're planning to draft one, it means Sanders or Gabriel would be cut before then. That sets a ticking clock for both rookies. Prove you belong by the end of 2025 or else. Cris Carter and Cecil Shorts. The third voice frustration, no first-team reps signals lack of investment. Without meaningful reps, how can Sanders improve or showcase skills? It's not about talent, it's about opportunity. Carrying 4 QBs limits space for receivers, linemen, and depth. Fans worry picks used could have strengthened the line or weapon core. If Cleveland still drafts in 2026, those earlier picks were wasted. Shedeur isn't just any rookie, he's Deion Sanders' son, and that carries media glare. Dave Portnoy called the Browns slide a worst-in-history move. Some scouts criticized his attitude during interviews, and public perception plays a big part in opportunities. Each quarterback entering camp means fewer reps per QB. Teams usually keep 2 signal callers. Cleveland is risking stagnation by spreading reps thin. Retaining top picks in 2026 is smart to build around a quarterback if you don't already have one, but if Sanders or Gabriel emerges, trading a pick becomes the logical high-upside option. The timeline is clear. Steelers start training July 25th, open preseason August 9th. Sanders must make every rep count. One glance, one drive could elevate him ahead of the pack. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry need to clarify who is visioned as quarterback 1, quarterback 2, quarterback 3 in 2025, and is that plan tied to future picks? Will they stick with their players or use picks to pivot? Deshaun Watson, mentor on and off field, can bridge the experience gap, helping quarterbacks make NFL reads and cope under pressure. The Browns hold 2 first-rounders in 2026. If they draft a QB, then thousands of fans will say Bigsnackks was right. But if Sanders flashes in 2025, those picks become trade chips. A bold, savvy move. Shedeur Sanders' rise is a modern NFL paradox. Stellar credentials, electric training, family legacy, yet slowed by a crowded roster and ambiguous front office vision. He's not just sprinting up hills in Miami, he's sprinting against time and organizational ambiguity. He can't afford a single misstep. One drop-off, poor rep, or lackluster playbook grasp, and he'll be the odd quarterback out. Fans will ask, why wasn't he given a chance? But when you join a team stacked with hope and experience, it's not just about skill. It's about seizing the moment, earning reps, earning trust, and own those early opportunities. It's 2025. The NFL looks for players who can dominate early. Sanders has talent, but the question remains, can he assert himself now before Cleveland decides their future in 2026? If this update gave you clarity on Cleveland's quarterback mess, smash that subscribe button. Do you think Shedeur Sanders will earn serious reps this camp, or will the Browns pivot again? Comment below, is Sanders the future of the Cleveland Browns? Should they carry 4 quarterbacks into a season? Would you trade 2 future first-rounders for stability now? Hit like if you want weekly QB camp breakdowns and frontline NFL updates.
We have some breaking news rippling throughout the land of the NFL. What we've been anticipating for what feels like months now is finally going to happen. According to the NFL Network insiders, Aaron Rodgers is finally heading to Pittsburgh. I'm Omar Reese, and one of those insiders, Tom Pelissero, is here. Tom, break it down for us. How did this happen and why now?
Well, you're right, Omar. This is something that the Steelers had been focused on for months. And as much as Aaron Rodgers
is now a Pittsburgh Steeler, but here's the thing. Vegas still isn't impressed. How does a team land Rodgers, Metcalf, and Ramsey and get treated like nothing's changed? Something doesn't add up. Rodgers' one-year deal with Pittsburgh sent shockwaves through the league after an up-and-down season with the Jets, where he tallied nearly 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 picks. Many thought his twilight was here. But Mike Tomlin saw an opportunity. Rodgers, even in year 21, still has the arm talent, decision-making, and football IQ that most quarterbacks would kill for. The Steelers clearly think they're just a quarterback away. You'd think Vegas would shift. Instead, they doubled down on mediocrity. The 8.5 win total puts Pittsburgh right back in the middle of the pack. And with odds makers only favoring them in 6 games this season, there's hesitation everywhere. Even Rodgers' presence hasn't moved the needle. Super Bowl odds are unchanged. In other words, Rodgers isn't seen as a savior, just another aging star in a franchise with too many unknowns. It's not just Rodgers. Pittsburgh traded George Pickens and brought in DK Metcalf to be the WR1. Metcalf brings elite speed, strength, and red zone prowess. He's a physical mismatch for nearly every defensive back. But he's also learning a new system with a new quarterback in a new city. Chemistry isn't instant. Then came the injury to tight end Donald Parham Jr., who was expected to be a safety net for Rodgers. With him out for the season, the team is pursuing veteran Jonnu Smith. It's another smart but reactionary move. The offense is talented, but volatile, like a puzzle missing a few edge pieces. Rodgers was solid in New York, but not spectacular. His 2024 numbers were good, but not MVP caliber. And at 41, the margin for error is razor thin. His mobility is limited, injuries are a constant threat, and his fit in Arthur Smith's system remains untested. There's no guarantee the offensive scheme will align with Rodgers' strengths, which lean toward improvisation and control at the line.
First-round pick of the Bears, and now Rodgers sits down. A loss of 10 on the play, and hopefully the Jets are thinking that's the only loss on that play.
Some critics argue that Rodgers doesn't have the same urgency he once did. The fire's dimmer, the drive different. Others think this is the perfect storm, a future Hall of Famer on a prove-it deal with a chip on his shoulder and nothing to lose. One more season to rewrite the ending. The Steelers weren't done making noise. They added lockdown corners Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay, plus linebacker Malik Harrison. Those are names that scream experience and playmaking ability. But defense is about chemistry as much as talent. And they also lost safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of their most consistent performers over the past 5 seasons.
New this year, and after spending 3 years with the Rams, the former first-round pick of the Bears, and now Rodgers sits down.
The Steelers' defense might be elite, or it might take half a season to gel. In a division stacked with offensive firepower, that's a dangerous gamble. So what's the holdup? It comes down to 4 things: age, chemistry, fit, and competition. Rodgers is 41. Metcalf is new. The offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, hasn't proven he can tailor a system around a quarterback like Rodgers. And the AFC North is arguably the toughest division in football. The Ravens are still rolling with Lamar Jackson. The Bengals are healthier and more experienced. Even the Browns with Deshaun Watson back are a threat. Nothing about this Steelers team screams clear favorite. And yet, there's something brewing in Pittsburgh. You can feel it. A sense that this team, written off by sports books and talking heads, might be more dangerous because of it. Rodgers thrives when doubted. Tomlin's made a career out of keeping the team competitive when no one expected it. Could they pull this off again? Let's look at the odds. The win total is 8.5. Their Super Bowl chances are set at plus 4,500 at BetMGM, plus 4,400 at FanDuel. Their playoff odds are at plus 145. And for the division, AFC North, they sit at plus 600. Those are long shot numbers. They're saying Pittsburgh might flirt with the playoffs but won't do real damage. But what if the odds makers are wrong? What if this is the season where everything finally clicks, the veterans show up, and the locker room rallies behind one of the most polarizing leaders in NFL history? Stranger things have happened. This is still the same league where Nick Foles became a Super Bowl MVP, where Tom Brady left New England at 43 and won a title in Tampa. The NFL script is never predictable. Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. The franchise hasn't sniffed a title in over a decade. Bringing in Rodgers was a swing-for-the-fences move, but that swing comes with pressure. There's tension behind the scenes. T.J. Watt reportedly wants a new deal. The receiving core, beyond Metcalf, is shaky, and with rumors of Pittsburgh chasing even more offensive firepower, like Tyler Boyd, it's clear the front office knows this roster isn't finished yet. And then there's the elephant in the room, legacy. Rodgers doesn't want to go out like this, not after the way it ended in Green Bay, not after a forgettable year in New York. He's chasing that final chapter, the one that cements his status, the one that quiets the critics, the one that proves he still has the juice. Rodgers knows better than anyone how fast the NFL moves. One moment you're the savior, the next you're the scapegoat. He's not just playing for Pittsburgh, he's playing to show he can still control the game. And while the arm strength may not be what it was in 2011, the mind, that's sharper than ever. He's one of the smartest players to ever touch a football. Give him time, and he'll make a defense pay. The question is whether the Steelers can buy him that time.
And Rodgers, that is caught.
If Jonnu Smith doesn't work out, the team might need to get aggressive. Don't be surprised if the Steelers make a midseason trade or bring in another pass catcher. They're all in on this year, and that means every option is on the table. Pittsburgh knows this isn't a 5-year rebuild. It's a 1-year shot. There's also a growing belief that Rodgers is mentoring the locker room more than people think. Behind closed doors, younger players have praised his film sessions, his attention to detail, and his leadership. He's not just here to throw a football. He's here to leave a mark. If he brings the locker room together, that's worth just as much as a deep ball. For Pittsburgh to beat the odds, they need Rodgers and Metcalf to click instantly. Jonnu Smith or another tight end must become a legitimate threat. The offensive line has to protect Rodgers at all costs. The defense must gel and stay healthy. And Tomlin and Smith have to craft a system that maximizes Rodgers without overloading him. That's a lot to ask, especially in a division where every team got better this offseason. This is the real question. We've seen legends go out with a bang Tom Brady in Tampa or a whimper Joe Namath with the Rams. Rodgers could fall into either category. If he returns to form and Metcalf plays like a top 5 receiver, Pittsburgh could be dangerous. But if he slows down or the chemistry doesn't build fast enough, this experiment could fall apart by week 10. Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers was one of the biggest shocks of the offseason, and yet the reaction has been strangely muted. That's because it's not just about names, it's about timing, fit, and expectations. Rodgers might be the final piece of a puzzle, or he might be a reminder that sometimes the big splash doesn't ripple. If you think Rodgers can still cook, hit that like button. If you think this experiment's doomed from the start, drop a comment and let us know why. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest NFL stories this season.
Kelsey to the 30-yard line. A perfect play for Patrick Mahomes to set the Chiefs' record for most passing yards.
Travis Kelce has just delivered a performance that defies belief, and what's been revealed has left NFL observers across the country stunned. The Kansas City Chiefs tight end stands as one of the most influential players in professional football, making his recent personal announcements particularly devastating to witness. The revelation involves not only his catastrophic admission of personal failure, but also the complete transformation of his relationship priorities during a crucial career phase, prompting the entire football community to finally acknowledge this systematic breakdown after witnessing one of the most shocking veteran player revelations in recent memory.